Toyota in the past couple decades, in the 2000s and the 2010s, wasn't the most inspiring company, right? They had some amazing vehicles in the 90s with the Supra. They had incredible inline-six engines. Even the Lexus models back then were pretty darn sporty. But thank God Toyota's doubled down back into performance with the GR series. We have the GR86, GR Supra, GR Corolla, of course, hot hatch, and a GR Yaris or other markets. So we have two hot hatches. What if I told you Toyota's coming out with two more hot hatches in the lineup, one from Lexus, one from Toyota? So let's get on to what's going on at Best Car Magazine. They have their newest issue out for December. One of them is the GR Prius, more specifically the GRMN. GRMN stands for Gazoo Racing, right? The racing division. MN stands for Meisters of Nürburgring, the famous German race course. And it also, GRMN, you take out the vowels of German and English and you're left with this. So it's pretty funny. Anyways, so what are they doing in order to make this a GRMN model? Well, I think it's mainly going to be suspension tuning. And the reason is they're saying that the Toyota hybrid system is difficult to increase the power. All right, we know that because if we look at, let's say, a 2.5 liter hybrid system from the RAV4, it makes about 220 horsepower in that vehicle, and it maxes out around 245 horsepower in, let's say, like the Sienna hybrid, but they all use a 2.5 liter. So there's only about a 20 horsepower difference from the weakest to the strongest. So is Toyota going to be able to pump 220 horsepower in here? Actually, I don't think so. And the reason is I don't believe they're going to use the plug-in hybrid. From what we're seeing here, it sounds like they want this to be all-wheel drive and be able to actually increase the power of the rear motor. So you have better all-wheel drive response compared to the normal Prius. But it actually could be faster in theory than the Prius Prime, maybe around a track, of course, around a track with increased spot welds, they're saying, improved structural adhesive as well. So it'll definitely handle way better than any Prius in production. But in terms of horsepower, I'm not quite sure we're going to see it break much more than 200 horsepower because it's not going to have the plug-in hybrid battery. And we know it can't be the Prime, because if it is all-wheel drive, the Prime, Toyota said that they can't put a rear motor in the Prius Prime due to the battery pack taking up that space, unless they're able to make the battery smaller, which they're not going to do for a niche car like this. So it'll be interesting. Now, a model like this may or may not come to the United States. Sprinkle this with a little of that bay salt, but I think this model's coming. They showed the concept to it, and it looks similar to the concept with this front end. Of course, they kept the rear wing, but it's definitely dialed back compared to that really high performance concept. And Prius Prime probably not happening with the GRMN, but we'll have a more powerful rear motor potentially than the standard all-wheel drive Prius. The other hot hatch, which to me this is more exciting, even though I'm a Prius guy, I love Priuses. This is more exciting, possibly because we don't get this model, so it's more of that forbidden fruit. What we're looking at here is the LBX. Now, I saw the LBX in Japan. It was getting a lot of attention, so I wasn't able to do a walk around on it, but it's really cute. It looks really, really premium. It is built off of the Yaris Cross, and the base model has the Yaris Cross hybrid powertrain, which is very weak. It's a 1.5 liter non-turbo hybrid. It gets crazy fuel economy. It's a great city car. It's super smooth, right? What we're seeing here is a return of a manual transmission in a Lexus. And they're saying that this is going to use the same GR4 system as we see in the GR Yaris and the GR Corolla. So about 300 horsepower, all-wheel drive. You have torque vectoring differentials on the front and the rear. And this thing is going to be an absolute luxury monster, especially if we can get it with a 6-speed manual. Now, there have been rumors and reports going around Japan that this could use a new 8-speed automatic transmission. We've seen that about the GR Corolla actually getting that new 8-speed auto, and Akio Toyota's been on record calling it kind of like a game changer. If it's as good as like the ZF8 transmission, then yes, that is a game changer for Toyota. If it comes, it'd be awesome to have an 8-speed auto as well as a 6-speed manual, but they're saying right now only 6-speed manual, but I wouldn't be surprised if this comes to the market. It would have an 8-speed auto as well. Now, when is it supposed to come to the market? Well, they're saying actually in 2024, in summertime around 2024. And they're saying it will be debuted at the Tokyo Auto Salon. My friend David Chow, Automotive Press, he will be there giving you guys that hands-on coverage. I'm not going back to Japan. I was just there a couple months ago. Definitely stay tuned because I will be giving you guys coverage of the Tokyo Auto Salon. We haven't actually heard anything from the Lexus end. Toyota is going to be showing a lot of Gazoo racing, off-road, rally cars, stuff like that, and race cars like their hydrogen burning race cars. This, though, for the Lexus lineup, I like to see the LFR be announced because what was a couple years back, we got the GR GT3 concept, which is going to be the Lexus LFR. So I'd like for that to come at this year's Tokyo Auto Salon. This one I'm absolutely jazzed for. The Prius, not so much. I also have something else here that is happening for Japan. This is like the Japan version of the Civic SI. They're calling it the Civic RS, but it sounds like the same suspension tuning and engine tuning that we get on the SI model, which doesn't seem to be over there in Japan. They'll be getting this RS instead. So also, I'll end with this Land Cruiser FJ. It seems like the dust is starting to settle on this. Will we hopefully we get a reveal of this vehicle sometime in 2024. This is supposed to actually be on the new Land Cruiser truck platform, the F platform. So it will have a longitudinally mounted engine setup like we see on the J250, like we see on the Lexus GX. It's just a much more shrunken down version of that. Maybe even smaller than the Tacoma, definitely smaller than Tacoma's wheelbase. Potentially the new 4Runner is going to be bigger than this as well with this Land Cruiser FJ or what some are calling the Land Cruiser Mini. But they're saying it is roughly the size of a Corolla Cross, just a lot taller. Again, still on a truck-based platform. And then, I mean, I love that idea. It makes sense to me because this is Land Cruiser. If it's going to have a Land Cruiser name, it better have body-on-frame off-road capabilities. And that's something me and David were a little wishy-washy about at the Tokyo or the Japan Mobility Show on their electric Land Cruiser that they showed. They should have called it Land Cruiser Sport as a more of a Range Rover Sport competitor. But that's totally different. This here, if they're going to call it Land Cruiser, give it body on frame in a small package, and this would make it the global Jimny in some ways. Now, unlike the Jimny, we could see hybrid powertrains, the 2.5 liter hybrid they're saying that we see in the RAV4, for example. But the thing is that doesn't work on this since it is a truck-based platform. That RAV4 2.5 hybrid is for front-wheel drive applications. So likely it might have the 8-speed auto that we see from the new Land Cruiser, but they're saying potentially 1.5 liter turbo 4-cylinder hybrid, so much more shrunken down setup. But we could also see a naturally aspirated 2.5 liter hybrid setup. We just haven't seen either of those hybrids that I just mentioned on an F platform or a truck platform before. But Toyota's got to do something, you know. I would say 1.5 turbo is a strong possibility, as well as a 2.5 hybrid. Both of them are not out of the realm. A possibility, if we look here, they're saying 2.5 liter hybrid, but they're saying there is a possibility of the turbo. Horsepower, they're saying front is 120 PS and rear is 54 PS. They're saying that's motor output, but that's assuming that this is based off of the RAV4 hybrid, which is just impossible in a truck-based platform. So, and they're saying this is autumn of 2024 that we could be getting this new Land Cruiser FJ. And if that's the case, the world's going to go nuts. Most of you are pretty excited about this. I could have made a dedicated video on just this guy, but I got to get moving. There's a lot of stuff I still need to cover. I'm going to make a huge compilation video of all the upcoming new Japanese cars. I've already done most of the brands, but I'm going to put on a mega video. It's probably going to be like an hour and a half where I put all the brands together, which is going to be kind of fun. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Happy New Year. And I cannot wait for more Toyota hot hatches coming down the hatch, as well as the Land Cruiser Mini. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great one. Peace.